Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is What If Kurama Gifted Naruto with a New Family Part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Konoha. Blood and death was in the air of Konoha as the Kyuubi no Kitsune, best known as the most powerful Biju in existence and least known as the greatest demon prankster, continued with its path of destruction. After years of being sealed within its current host, it was finally set free by a masked ninja with a strange, swirling pinwheel eyes. Suddenly Minato Namikaze, aka the fourth Hokage, appeared on top of his toad summon, Gamabunta, and teleported the Kyuubi away from the village. Minato approached his wife Kushina Uzumaki as she called out, Chakurichan Shoheiki Chakra Chain's barrier, to restrain the Kyuubi. Minato, I'm going to reseal the Kyuubi in me. Whatever happens, please take care of Naruto for me, a dying Kushina said. The forced extraction of the Kyuubi had nearly killed her on the spot. It was only her willpower that was keeping her going right now. No, Minato argued. In your condition right now the Kyuubi will only break free again. The only choice we have is for me to use Shiki Fujin Demon Consuming Seal, to seal the yin half of the Kyuubi into me and Haka no Fuin Shiki, 8 trigrams sealing style, to seal the yang half along with some of our chakras into Naruto to help him and act as fail-safe for the seal. But if you do that then you will die and Naruto would ended up alone and hated as a Jinchuriki, his wife said. Don't worry. We made Jiraiya his godfather and I'm sure he will take care of Naruto, Minato assured her. Somewhere near a bathhouse, a white-haired toad sage sneezed. I feel as if I'm about to disappoint my student by forsaking the responsible that he give me. Oh well, back to my research hehe, Jiraiya said as he went back to peeping. Back to Minato and Kushina. Besides, I will make it my last request that Naruto will be viewed as a hero for imprisoning the Kyuubi. I'm positive that the village will honor my last request, the request of their beloved and awesome Hokage, Minato said with a grin. Back at Konohagakure, the minority of ninjas, the majority of civilians and the League of Unholy Miserable Old People known as Homura, Kaharu, and Danzo sneezed. Back to Minato and other. Are you sure about that? Kushina asked skeptically. Yes, and there is no way that I could ever be wrong about this, he answered back. You just had to go and jinx it, didn't you? I'm going to beat you to a bloody pulp if anything happens to Naruto, you know, Kushina deadpanned. Okay, let's get this started, Minato said as he ignored his wife's threats and began to perform the Shiki Fujin Demon Consuming Seal and summoned the Shinigami. Finally, some time away from the horror Noah's paperwork. Anyways, I should probably get to my job of taking souls now, the Shinigami thought as he began to pull out Kyuubi's yin chakra out of him and seal it into Minato. While this was happening, Minato and Kushina were saying their goodbyes to their son. Then, Minato sealed the rest of the fox's chakra along with part of his and his wife's chakra into their son. Your parents placed a great deal of burden on you, while at the same time they placed a lot of faith in you, little one. It seems that you will do many great things in this world, the Shinigami said while looking at Naruto. As for these two souls, once they are done with what they have to do I shall collect their souls, he said looking toward Minato and Kushina. Anything that will give me less paperwork to deal with now is good for me. As the Shinigami was about to leave, he sensed something and looked back at Naruto. It seems that while the fox was being sealed away some of my essence was sealed inside the boy as well, the Shinigami thought. I can deal with it now or wait and see how it will benefit me later on. After studying the tiny human for a moment, he made his decision. I'll just deal with it later, might be fun to see what happen, the Shinigami concluded as he left. 5 years later in Konoha. Damn stupid villagers, why do they always do this to me every time? Naruto asked as he ran away from an angry mob of villagers once again. For Naruto, being hated, chased and beaten all the while having peoples after his life is a part of a normal week for him. Although, Normal is not how you would describe this spiky blonde-haired kid because for as long as he could remember he has seen things no one could, he could see all kinds of spirits around him. The first few times that he realized that he can communicate with the dead, it freaked him out, but over time by having them willing to talk to him and all the while being shunned by most of the village, he became used to them. From his strange ability, he also learned that all sort of things have a soul, from animals to plants to rocks, even the river and the air we breathe. This gave him a unique view of the world. While being the village pariah, he ended up befriending many of the friendly spirits. Due to Naruto's wind affinity, which he discovered by conversing with the spirit of a friendly shinobi a couple of years back, he gained a new familiar by the name of Cloud. Cloud was a carefree glowing gray or sliver orb with wings. Demon. Monster. The angry mob screamed as they chased Naruto. Don't worry Naru-kun, soon the Anbu will be here to deal with the mob and then we can spend the rest of this nice day watching clouds, Cloud said in a cheerful tone. First of all, who are you, Anara? Naruto deadpanned. Secondly, can you help me out by blinding them with a sandstorm or something? Naruto ranted as he ran. Okie dokie, replied a happy Cloud as he blew a dust storm which blinded and slowed down the incoming mob. Unfortunately for Naruto, as he turned around the next corner he came across another group of angry mob, who proceeded to beat him to a bloody pulp. As he began to pass out, the Anbu showed up and made short work of the idiot villagers, who had broken the third's law. In Naruto's mindscape, Naruto awoke to a dark, damp sewer-like place. I wonder where I am. I guess I will have to walk around to find out, he said. After wandering around aimlessly for hours, he came across a cage with the kanji for seal attached to it. Then, all of a sudden, a pair of giant red eyes appeared and focused on him. So we finally meet, you pathetic excuse for a human, it boomed. Who are you? Asked a scared Naruto. I am the great and powerful Kyuubi no Kitsune, it boomed again. Ah, help. I'm going to get eaten by a demon fox. Naruto screamed as he ran madly around in a circle. After running around for few minutes he slammed into the Shinigami. You don't know how lucky you are, kid, you almost kicked the bucket there, said the Shinigami. Upon seeing the Shinigami's demonic face, Naruto fainted. How the hell is it possible for him to faint inside his own mind, he deadpanned. Hey kid, wake up. I don't have all day, you know, the Shinigami sighed. Please don't eat me. A scared Naruto asked. We're not going to eat you, the Shinigami replied. I don't know, I haven't had a decent meal in a long time, the Kyuubi added as he licks his lip. Shut up Kurama, the Shinigami snapped. Kurama? Naruto asked. That's the name of the giant furball here, the Shinigami said as he pointed to a pissed off Kurama. I suppose I should change my appearance so you stop freaking out, he said as the Shinigami changed his appearance to handsome man with dark eyes and white hair slicked back. He wore a black suit with white gloves, a black fedora and a cane. Where are we? What are we doing here and what are you? Naruto asked, waving his arm about. We are in your mind, you're here because you were knocked unconscious, the Kyuubi is here because the fourth Hokage sealed it inside your gut to save the village. I'm the Shinigami and I am here to talk to you, the Shinigami said as he counted off the questions. Also, if you were wondering about the demonic look, it because I look badass with it, but then again, I always look badass, he said as cross his arm in a gangster pose while both Naruto and Kurama sweat dropped at that. So that's why the villagers hate me. They think I'm the Kyuubi, Naruto said as he dropped his head. Yep. They're that stupid to not know the difference between the cereal box and the prize inside it, but you don't worry about it because you are not Fluffy-chan, the Shinigami said. Yeah, like a pathetic human like you could be me. Hey, don't call me Fluffy-chan, Kurama growled. Anyways, this talk may take some time, so can you change the scenery around here and feed some rabbits or something to Mr. Ego here? The Shinigami asked. I can do that, Naruto asked. Yes, the Shinigami replied. Change it to what? Naruto asked again. Make the surrounding into something decent looking. This is your mind, is it not? The Shinigami replied. Naruto closed his eyes, Then the scene changed into an infinite blue sky with white clouds floating around, and they were stand on top of an endless sea that reflected the sky above. The Kyuubi had a collar with the seal on the dog tag around his neck. Next to him was a giant white rabbit, and in front the fox was a table and two comfortable chairs for Naruto and the Shinigami to sit in. This tastes like miso ramen and it doesn't bleed, Kurama growled. That's because the only thing they feed me is ramen. Miso is the best flavor, by the way, and I don't want to have any more nightmares than I already do, so no blood for you, Naruto deadpanned. Anyways, the first thing on our agenda is that I want to make a deal with Kurama. I have your yin chakra with me, and with it I can make a body for you so you can come out to the outside world to get some fresh air. I can place the new seal on him to let you do this if you make a promise to me that you will protect and help the kid. And with the new body and seal you can eventually end up being truly free if you make an oath with me to amend for your past sin by doing good deeds and promise to not to do any more evil deeds after you're free, the Shinigami said. Interesting, but being good is not my thing, Kurama said. The kid will help you take down that S-rank shinobi that you are pissed at, Shinigami said. Who? Naruto asked. I tell you later, but for now help me out here, he replied to Naruto before returning his attention to the Kyuubi. Well? The Shinigami asked. Good, but no, Kurama countered. I give you more bunnies to eat and add some different flavors that are both ramen and non-ramen in taste, Naruto added. Keep going, an interested fox said. I will make the kid stronger and you have the most powerful host as your partner. And candy. I'm not a little kid. Women. Nope. Men. I don't swing that way. Pie. Now you guys are just making things up. Disneyland. How the hell do you know about that place? How about you help me prank peoples that are mean to me? Ha ha ha, having people suffer unimaginable pain and humiliation is the ultimate form of entertainment. Okay. You have yourself a deal, Kurama agreed with an evil smile on his face. Kurama, I think you have a lot of unresolved issues to deal with, but for now, let's move on to the next issue at hand. Naruto, as you know now, the fourth Hokage was unable to kill Kurama here, so he was left with no choice but to seal him in you. The Shinigami said as Naruto nodded in response. However, he couldn't seal all of the fox's chakra, so the fourth summoned me to seal half of it in him and the other half in you, but while I was there I wasn't careful about controlling my power, so when Kurama was being sealed in you some of my essence got sealed into you, giving you a little bit of my ability. Are you just being lazy again? Kurama huffed. Ability? You mean how I can see spirits and weird stuff? Naruto asked. Yes, but there is more to it than that, and my minion here will tell you all about it, the Shinigami said as a black bird appeared in front of him. I'm not your minion, I'm your employee. Don't make me call the union on you, the bird ranted, before turning to the blonde boy. Anyways, hi Naruto-kun, I used to be a Konoha ninja when I was alive, but after I died I made a deal to be a reaper, a middleman for the Shinigami, the bird said. Why? Naruto asked. I can't tell you why right now because of a certain reason, also because of that reason I can't tell you my real name either, so until that time you can call me Crow, he answered. So because of the situation you are in, I decided to help you grasp your ability. In return, you have to work for me, the Shinigami said. But I want to be a ninja, then fulfill my dream of becoming the Hokage, Naruto stated. Oh, you can still do those things. What I'm asking from you won't interfere with your dream, I'm just asking you to do a few tasks for me when you have the time, the Shinigami responded smoothly. What would I be doing for you? Naruto asked. You will be helping any spirits with any task that they need help with and help the spirits of the dead with any unfinished business so they can move on to the afterlife. Once you get stronger, I want you to help me hunt down certain immortals that are foolish enough to believe they can escape me. You don't need to worry about that right now. Most likely you will cross paths with them eventually, he answered. Sure, anything that makes me strong and awesome sounds good to me, Naruto replied. Okay, let me make a few adjustments to the seal to make things a little easier for you now, and I will start working on crafting a body for the fox with his yin chakra. Once that is done, there will be more things for you to do, so until then Crow here will tell you about your unique ability, the Shinigami said before he left. So let me tell you about your abilities, or should I say Kekkei Genkai, since you can pass it to your descendants. Also I should tell you about the Kekkei Genkai you got from the fox as well, Crow said. Kekkei Genkai? Naruto asked. It looks like I have a lot to explain, so let's begin, Crow sighed. Omake. Q&A with Naruto, Crow and Kurama. So why did you attack Konoha for anyway? Naruto asked. I think I will tell you when you become a genin, Kurama replied. Why does the Shinigami eat a person's soul for? Naruto asked. The gateway to the afterlife is in the bowels of the Shinigami's stomach, Crow answered. Okay. Oh hey, you are sealed in my gut, right? Naruto asked. Don't remind me, Kurama huffed. And we are in my mind, right? Naruto continued. Yes we are. Where are you going with this, Naruto-kun? Crow asked. Well, I know that I sometimes tend to think with my stomach. At this Kurama chuckled. But, Naruto continued while ignored the fox, how come I can talk to the fox in my mind when he's in my gut? Quote, comma, quote. Quote, comma, quote. Quote, comma, quote. I'm not sure, Naruto-kun, Crow answered. I have no idea, Kurama replied. Mind link, Crow suggested. How the chakra network is set up. Kurama added. Pocket universe. Astral projection. Magic. 42. Well, I guess it is just one of those life mysteries that we will never know, Crow concluded. You mean like where babies come from? Naruto asked. Actually that's one of those, we will tell you when you are older, things, Crow said. And I can't wait to see the brat's face when he finds out, Kurama chuckled. The infirmary inside the Hokage Tower. Naruto woke up with Cloud and Crow next to him. Yeah, Naru-kun is alive, and best of all we have a new friend to play with, said a spirited Cloud cheered. I'm glad to know that my life comes second to meeting new people for you, Naruto deadpanned. Well, if you do die then you will just end it up as a ghost and we will still be friend, Cloud said with a smile. But I will be dead, Naruto said, trying to get his point across. So it not like I'm going to discriminate against you due to your state of existence, Cloud responded. That not the point, Naruto sighed. Just then the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, steps in to check up on Naruto. Ah Naruto, you're finally awake. I sorry for what happened and will do everything in my power to make sure it won't happen again. Anyway, how are you feeling right now? The Thrid asked. I'm fine Gigi, and thanks for worrying about me, I appreciated it, Naruto responded. Think nothing of it, it is my job to take care of all the people within this village, said Sarutobi, then he turned his head and saw Crow. That is an unusually pet you have there, will you be able to take care of it, Naruto? He can see you. A shocked Naruto asked. Yes, he can see me, why wouldn't he? Crow responded. Aren't you like dead therefore a spirit, he stated. Yes, but I also work for Shinigami-sama as a reaper, therefore given certain privilege such as having a physical form that can be seen by those in the physical world, Crow answered. Naruto, are you taking to the bird, and what do you mean by it being dead? Sarutobi asked. Though in this form because they can't communicate with spirits, so for them it will be like speaking to any other animal, therefore they wouldn't understand anything I say, Crow added. So what do we do now? Naruto asked. We can tell him the truth. From what I remember of the third, I believe him to be trustworthy, Crow said. Okay. Gigi, there's something I have to tell you and I don't want other to know about it yet, so can we keep it a secret between us? Naruto asked. Sure. Let me seal the room so no can eavesdrop on our conversation, Sarutobi said as he began to seal the room. Okay, let's starts with letting you know I know about Kyuubi no Kitsune being seal in me, Naruto stated. What? Who told you? Asked an angry Hokage. No told me, I met him when I pass out along with the Shinigami, said Naruto as he began to tell the Hokage of the meeting between the Shinigami, Kurama, and him. A few minutes later. So that what happened? Naruto finished after a few minutes of explanation. So you gain a Kekkei Genkai from both the Kyuubi and the Shinigami, So what exactly can they do? Sarutobi asked. From what Crow-sensei told me, the Kitsune no Ayashi, fox healing, that I got from Kurama give me an amazing healing ability that range from a slightly increase in regeneration to resistance to most poison. As for the Shinigami no Okurimono, gift of the death god, that I got from the Shinigami, it allow me to communicate, see and sense the spirits around me, but that part of it true potential, Naruto said. True potential? Sarutobi asked. Crow-sensei told me that the true purpose of it is to allow me to connect with a targeted soul in order to understand it from its perspective, so in a battle I can know how my opponents think and feel. Then once I am connected to the targeted soul, I'm able to manipulate it to affect the mind, body and spirit of my opponent, though what that entitle is still unknown to me. Me and Crow-sensei are still trying to figure it out, but once we do I will tell you, Naruto said. That is truly an amazing ability you have there, Naruto, the Hokage mused. Yeah, it's great and all, however, Crow-sensei told me that I need to train hard to master it and also to not heavily depend on it and work on my other skill if I want to be an uber ninja like he was, Naruto added. That is some good method to follow, the Hokage said. The next day, Naruto followed by Crow and Cloud, were walking past the bathhouse on their way to the Ninja Academy when he noticed the bottom half of a body sticking out of the wall of the female side of the hot spring. You don't see a wall with a pair of legs every day now, do you? Naruto mused. Ah, that was some nice anti-emo therapeutic session, and I got to say that brunette have some nice C-cup, said the blue spiky hair stranger with emerald green eyes as he pulled the top half of his body out of the wall. Hey, what the hell is wrong with you? Crow shouted. Yeah, you tell him, Crow-sensei, Naruto agreed. The one with the purple hairs has better skin tone and nipple ratio, Crow commented as Naruto face fault. The black hair one look like her jiggle a lot, I bet it will be fun to bounce on them, add a childish Cloud. Hentai. Hentai, all of three of you are hentai, Naruto said with his eye twitching as he pointed a finger at them. The stranger stared at Naruto. Naruto stared back. Quote, comma, quote. Quote, comma, quote. You can see me? The stranger asked. Yes, Naruto replied. So you possess the Shinigami no Okurimono, right? The stranger asked again. Yes, Naruto replied again. Yahoo! I can finally pass on my legacy, the stranger shouted. There's no way I'm letting you turn me into a peeping Tom, Naruto said while crossing his arms. No, that come later on. What I'm passing on to you now is my jutsus, especially those based around the Shinigami no Okurimono. So followed me, my young new apprentice, and we will begin you torture. I mean your training, the stranger replied. Actually I have to get to the academy now, and also I'm not allowed to talk to stranger nor follow them anywhere, Naruto said. Don't worry about that, what you learn in the academy is pretty much useless for being a ninja for the most part, and as for the stranger danger, it doesn't apply to you because you are an orphan, the stranger commented. In response, Naruto sat down in the corner of woe and cried anime tears, saying, I know I'm an orphan, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt when people bring it up, jerk. Hehe, Naru-kun's eyes are making raindrop, Cloud giggle as teardrop fall on him. Harsh man, harsh, Crow added. Oh my gosh, he's going emo. I must take drastic measure to stop his emo breakdown. Nis no genjutsu, Tobui no Budo no jutsu, false reality. Boot to the head technique, said the stranger as he threw a knife-made entity out of chakra, and when it hit Naruto it causes a boot to appear out of nowhere and slam into his face, leaving a shoe imprint on his face. Haha, that was classic, Kurama laughed in Naruto mind. Shut up, Naruto responded. Hey, this is the only entertainment I get, it not like there's cable TV in here, anyway get me some beef flavor ramen rabbit, I like a snack with my show, Kurama said. Fine here, jerk, Naruto replied as he went back to deal with the stranger. Ouch, what the hell? That hurts, and where did that boot come from and where did it go? But most importantly, why the hell is there a knife sticking out of my back? Naruto yelled. The knife will disappear when I cancel the jutsu. As for everything else, let go somewhere private to talk. People are beginning to look at you like you are crazy and might send you to a mental institution, he replied. Yeah, like you want to talk, Naruto mumbled as he looked around and saw that people were looking at him strangely. He nodded and began to follow the stranger. In a deserted training ground. Okay, before we started our conversation, can you please get rid of this knife in my back? Naruto said. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about that there, the stranger said innocently as he cancelled the jutsu. Naruto glared at him. Okay, let's start off by introducing ourselves. You go first, Whisker, the stranger said. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, the bird is named Crow and this ball of sunshine is named Cloud. And if you don't start telling me how to get you to go to the afterlife, I going to find a priest to exorcise you, Naruto said, continuing to glare at him. Yeah, so my name is Nanashi and I possess the Shinigami no Okurimono too, Nanshi said. You have the Shinigami essence's seal in you too? Naruto asked. What? No. What actually happened to me was I was exposed to a strong concentration of the Shinigami's essences when I was in close approximate to him and now I'm kind of stuck with it, Nanashi responded. Yeah, that sound like something that the Shinigami would cause, Crow added. As for the reason why I haven't moved on, it is because of two reasons. The first, I need to pass on my jutsus and legacy to someone because I die before I could do that, and the second is that there's a princess that I have to save from an evil spirit that kidnapped her about 100 years ago and has recently been reported to be sighted around here. Anyway, about the jutsus, I wait a 100 years. Naruto interrupted. Yeah, 100 year. Anyway, back to the jutsus, Nanashi said, trying to change the subject. It been a 100 year and you still have not been able to rescue her, Naruto deadpanned. There were a lot of key items to collect, Nanashi said, looking away. Liar. Naruto yelled. Mini-bosses. Naruto stared at him with a disbelief look on his face. I got lost. Naruto continued to stare. I hit a glitch. Will you tell me already? Okay, the truth is that I was busy peeking at every town, village and city I stop at during my quest, Nanashi admitted as Naruto face fault. Him being invisible and intangible to the world makes it great for peeking, Crow nodded his head in an understanding mood. Quote, girl or fun girls, Cloud said, jumping for joy. Arrow Sation, pervy spirit, Naruto muttered. Hi, my name is Nanashi, Nanashi stated. Hi Nanashi, Crow and Cloud said together. I am a pervert and it'd been 25 minutes since I'd done something perverted, said Nanashi. This is not pervert anonymous, so find help for your problem somewhere else, Naruto deadpanned. So back to our discussion. The jutsus I developed for the Shinigami no Okurimono based on the aspect of the manipulating the targeted soul and follow the three basic style. The Nis no Genjutsu, false reality, affecting the mind the soul perceive. Funo Noroi, curse vessel, affecting the body the soul inhabits. Seishin o Kawasu Mano, spirit breaker, affecting the very soul itself. The boot to the head that you experience early today, Naruto growled, remembering about the incident, was due to the Nis no Genjutsu style. From the connection I made with you, I was able to alter your perception of reality, forcing your mind to experience an illusion of my choice similar to Genjutsu, which in this case is a flying boot to the head. However, unlike Genjutsu, these images are not just false image that led the body to believe that it is just in pain, but trick the mind to believe the body is actually being physical attack and harm, causing actually physical damage to the body. The bruise there on your face is proof of that. Okay, but what about the chakra knife that you throw at me? Not only did it not hurt me, but I have no cut mark from it, Naruto observed. That because I didn't want it to happen, but if I did I could. However, it did serve a purpose to the jutsu also. To calling it a chakra knife is a bit incorrect because I don't use chakra, Nanashi said. What do you mean you don't use chakra? Naruto asked. What I mean is that I can't use it because I'm dead, so no living body, no physical energy to mix with spiritual energy. So like your friend Cloud, I replace physical energy with natural energy from the air and ground around me. Though since your friend is a wind elemental, it is easy for him to draw from the air than the earth, and use it to mix it with the spiritual energy to created spiritual essence to perform the jutsu. But when you learn these jutsu, you will use regular chakra. As for the purpose of the knife, they serve as receiver to focuses on the intended target, As you know, even when you are connected to a target soul, you are still aware of the other souls and spirits around you, so you're connected to them on some level. So the illusion is not only seen or heard by the target but also by other around you, so to prevent other from suffer unnecessary injury, the charka knife are used, because when you're cast a jutsus you pour some of your soul into it, that why you emotional stated sometime affect the strength of jutsu. Therefore the essence of the jutsu is in sync with the essence in the knife that spread out all over the target when it hit them, so the jutsu know who to affected, Nanashi explained. Wow, that cool. How about the other two styles? Naruto asked. Well, the Funo Noroi is the power to manipulate the state of the body. The possibility of this include diminish the strength of your opponent while augmenting the strength your allies and transferring the damage you and your allies receive to your opponent. And finally the Seishin o Kawasu Mano style. This one literally strike at a person will to fight, affecting the emotional state of your opponents, causing them to feel from everything to hopeless, fear to pure bliss, Nanashi finished. Awesome, okay, teach me, an excited Naruto begged. Okay, holds your horse, we will start with the basic and work our way up, Nanashi said. Fine, so what do we start with? Naruto asked. Well, the logical but boring way to go about this is to start with chakra control, mainly due to the fact that the large amount of chakra you possessed from having the fox seal in you make it very difficult to gain control of it, Nanashi pondered. Naruto groaned at that. But I think we can do that after we do it the fun way first, Nanashi said with an evil smirk. Which is? A scared Naruto asked. Oh, just an evaluation to see where you are at, by bombarding you with a whole lot of Nis no Genjutsu, Tobui no Budo no Jutsu, false reality, boot to the head technique, to see how many of it you can dodge and how long you can last, Nanashi said with a evil grin. Yeah, kick the Naru game, Cloud cheered as Naruto tried to escape, death by footwear. Omake. Naruto training plans. Crow and Cloud, since we're training Naruto-san in the way of the ninja, then we must come up with a created way to torture him for our entertainment, Nanashi said. You know I right here, Naruto said. Yeah, that's a great idea, Crow said. New game for Naru-kun, Cloud said. Do you guys have selective hearing or something? Naruto deadpanned. First thing on the list is a daily booth to the head to start the day off. Nanashi started. Why am I not surprised here? Naruto sighed. Let tie him up and hang him from a tree, then beat him with a stick until he learn how to do the Nawanuke no Jutsu, rope escape technique, Crow added. Randomly attacks Naru-kun with sharp pointy things, vital points are worth a 100 point, Cloud said innocently. Not you guy too, Naruto said with anime tears. Good I going to add a booth to the head for motivation, Nanashi added. What with your obsession with injuring my head with footwear, Naruto said in the corner of woe. And from the look of it, another booth to the head to treat any possible emo syndrome, Nanashi said. In Naruto's apartment. After an evening of being painfully bludgeoned by boots of death for hours, Naruto woke up the next morning bruised and sore as he entered the kitchen to be greeted by Nanashi, Crow, and Cloud. Good morning, champ. Hurry up and eat breakfast so that I can take you to school on my way to work, said Nanashi while sitting down and reading a newspaper. Naruto ni-chan, you better work hard when you are in school if you want to be as cool and amazing as your Onichan now, Crow lectured. Arf. Arf. Bacon. Cloud barked. Isn't it a little early for all this craziness? Naruto deadpanned as he made some instant ramen for breakfast. Nope. All three of them said together. So what are all three of you really going to do today? Naruto asked. Well, while you are in class 1, we'll try to find heaven on earth, also known as the hidden Kunoichi hot spring, said Nanashi with a nosebleed, then we will continue your training. What about trying to find that princess of your? Naruto asked. Oh, she waited for 100 years, a few days won't matter that much, Nanashi answered. She didn't wait for 100 years, Baka, Naruto muttered. I'm going to check on how my old clan is doing and then join you in class halfway through, Crow said. You're from a clan, what is it like? Naruto asked. It pretty much like any other clan, all the elders has a major stick up there, Crow said. And I'm going to class with Naru-kun and blow air behind people's ears for fun, Cloud added. At the academy. Once again Naruto failed the exam given with question that no one in class could have answered and teachers continued to sabotage or plain out ignored him. Naruto was eating his moldy old bread alone with Cloud when they met Crow again. So how was your day so far? Crow asked. No one tried to kill me so okay so far, he stated. How about you? How was your day? Naruto asked. Fine. The elders still have a stick up their butt. What's up with your lunch? Crow inquired. It was the only few thing anyone is willing to sell me, Naruto stated. It seemed like we have to teach you how to do the Henge no Jutsu, transform technique, to fool people so you can buy better things, Crow pondered. Think that will help out a lot, Naruto said. No problem, we better head back to class and see what we need to fix for you in your training, Crow said. As they enter the building people spotted Crow on Naruto's shoulder. Hey, you are not allowed to bring wild animal in here, said the teacher. It's not a wild animal, it's my ninja bird, Naruto responded. Yeah right, the teacher said back. It's true, Kiba's family have ninja dogs so it's possible for me to have ninja bird, Naruto replied back. Fine, he responded angrily and muttered, stupid demon brat, under his breath. I bet it is lame and can't do anything at all, one of the students said. Do something, Naruto whispered to Crow. Crow went and picked up a pen and dropped it in front of a dark-haired girl with white eyes with a tint of lavender. When Naruto looked at her, she blushed for reason he couldn't understand. See, I am an awesome bird trainer, Naruto bragged. After class was over, all of his classmates were being picked up by their family members. Naruto, Crow and Cloud spotted Nanashi motioning them to follow him. After walking for a few minutes they ended up near the edge of a large forest. So how was your day? Naruto asked. I found the Holy Land, the hidden Kunoichi hot spring is truly heaven on earth. I feel fulfilled in my afterlife and now I can move on to the great beyond with no regret, said Nanashi with anime tears flowing from his eyes and a spotlight shining on him as an angel version of him left his body as it ascending to heaven even though he already dead and therefore a spirit himself. Is he using Nis no Genjutsu on us? Naruto asked with a sweat drop. I don't know, but it is better to not to ask, Crow responded. So what useful thing have they been teaching the kid? Nanashi asked. Nothing, the thing they taught is either useless or going to get him killed in the field, Crow said, causing Naruto look downcast at that. Don't look so down, we will beat everything we know into you and make you a great ninja even if it kills you, Nanashi said. Something tell me that you mean that in a literally sense, Naruto deadpanned. Anyways, let's go get you some tool of the trade and maybe find a weapon for you to master, Nanashi said. How? No one would sell me anything in this village unless it is in bad condition, and if they do it is highly overpriced and I'm really short on money because I also have pay for the other overpriced necessity, Naruto said bitterly. That's why I came up with a great idea of going into the forest of death to scavenge some stuff that past ninja lost or no longer have any use for, but my advice for you is to ignore any dead body you see, Nanashi said in an excited tone. How is going into a big scary forest with death in it name a good idea? It is kind of I don't know suicidal, Naruto said a little bit uneasy about the grinning Nanashi. But that what being ninja is all about, doing stupid stuff that can get you killed, said a cheerful Nanashi, which caused Naruto stare at him. You don't have to worry, I can still use jutsu to handle anything that come our way, Nanshi sighed. Beside, we are having you train with the Shinigami no Okurimono by using it to not only be aware of any danger that nearby but also talk your way out from being eaten by any carnivorous animal you will encounter, because the Shinigami no Okurimono allow you to communicate with animal on a spiritual level. What if they want to eat me regardless of what I said? Naruto asked. Well, you can always run away. Anyway, let head out, Nanashi said. I going to die and he going to kill me, Naruto muttered over and over again as they head into the forest. In the forest of death. After wandering around the forest, Naruto collected a decent set of kunai, shuriken, ninja wire and a quality ninja pouch. Matey. We got some booty to dig up, a hyperactive Cloud said. Look like we got you some decent set of ninja tools but can't seem to find a weapon you can specialize in, Nanashi commented. Yeah, I know. Hey Arosation, I was wonder about something, Naruto said. You give me a nickname. I like it, it really reflect me perfectly, I'm so proud, said Nanashi. Of course you are, you stupid perverted ghost, Naruto muttered. Anyway, what do you have on your mind? Nanashi asked. Well, we kind of deep in the forest and I was wonder if you know how to get back when we done here. Naruto asked. Nanashi just stared at Naruto and then look away, ignoring the question. We're lost, aren't we? Naruto deadpanned. We can't leave until we find you a weapon, Naruto-kun, Nanashi said, ignoring Naruto's question. Don't worry, Naruto-kun, I can fly above the tree to see where we have to go in order to get back, Crow reassured Naruto. So you guys are looking for a weapon for the little one there. If that's true, then I know where one is, said a new voice. They turned around and saw a small human shape being made out of wood, wearing a flower hat with branch-like antlers sticking out of its head, moss and leaf cover clothing, and it was holding a large leaf like it was an umbrella. Hi, I'm Naruto and this is Crow, Cloud and Nanashi, but he a pervert so I just called him Arosation, and proud of it, Nanashi shouted. So who are you? Naruto asked. My name is Tree and I am one of the many spirit that affiliate itself with plant life that tends to inhabit the forest, and as I was saying, if you are looking for a weapon I know where one at, however if you can wield it or not is up to you, Tree said. Really? So will you show us where it is? Nanashi asked. Yes, if you help me with my task, Tree said. What kind of task? Naruto asked. Man, this feel like an RPG doing mini quest to get a rare items. Planting stuff. We plant spirits like places with a lot of vegetation, so doing such task helps us a lot, Tree said. Well, at least I don't have to slay a dragon, Naruto said. Instead of doing that, why don't you just become one of Naruto-kun familiar, then you can have him do thing for you when he not busy like he does for me, Cloud said. Can I really do that? Tree asked. Yeah, I'm Naruto-kun familiar and he play game with me because he promised to play with me when he can, Cloud said. I thought it was because you won't leave me alone, Naruto deadpanned. Same thing, Cloud innocently replied. Okay, I don't mind, from now on I am your familiar and I will assist you in any way that I can, Tree said. Okay, I fine with that, Naruto replied. Yeah, a new friend to play with, Cloud cheered. Follow me and I will show where the weapon is at, Tree said as he began to walk away. After about an hour of walking they came to a clearing in the forest. In the middle of it there was a staff as black as night sky stick out of it. There it is. It was forges out of a dark ore that fall from the heaven and ashes from a very ancient and mystical tree, so know how much damage it receives it will repair itself back to its original form. Legend said it once belonged to a great warrior that was able to defeat his enemies even after he'd been long dead. All there is left to do is place your hand on it and be judged, Tree said. Yep, definitely feel like an RPG, Naruto said as he walked up to it and placed his hand on it, then everything went black. You seek to wield me, but in order for that to happen I must see into your heart to see if you are worthy to wield me, said a female voice. He looks around for the source of the voice but found nothing and could only see him, the staff and the blackness around him. You bear a great burden and face a lot hated and loneliness, yet you don't let it taint your heart but deal it head on. You seek strength for recognition, that is not a bad reason, however it is not the best reason either, but you still young and still have a lot of time to live and grow. Stubborn, not very bright, ramen obsessive. Hey, don't diss the ramen, Naruto exclaimed. But possess a strong will and a pure heart, well as pure as it can be in a world like this. For these reason I deem you worth to wield me, but if you become my master I ask only one thing from you, and that is to always hold on to the strength and will that you have in your heart that you currently have right now, the voice finished off. Okay, Naruto said. The blackness seemed to fade and Naruto returned to where he was with the staff in hand, but at the head of the staff there was a light blue blade made of chakra sticking out of it now. Then a seal appeared on Naruto's right hand and his new scythe disappeared into it. If you ever need to wield me, called me by the name you earn me, Mugen no Sora endless sky, for the potential you possess is as endless as the sky above you, beside all the hero do it when they take out their kick-ass weapon, the voice told him. A scythe not a bad choice, kind of symbolic considering you are an agent of death and it look badass, Nanashi said. So the soul of that scythe decided to choose you to be its master, right? Tree asked. Yeah, I also made a promise with her when she chooses me and hopefully I won't disappoint her in the end, Naruto said. So how does she rate on a scale of hotness? Nanashi asked with a lecherous grin. Naru-kun and Scythe-chan, sitting in a tree kissing, Cloud singed. Cloud-kun, it is not like that an arrow station, keep your perverted thought to yourself, beside I haven't seen her only heard her voice, Naruto said. You haven't seen me yet, Mugen no Sora whispered. Ah, but you're my student and as my student I am supposed to pass everything that I know on to you including my perverted ways, Nanashi pouted. Not happening, Naruto responded. Hey guy, it is kind of getting dark so I think now will be a good time to head back, Crow said trying to stop their arguments. Yeah, the kid needs his sleep for tomorrow since it is the weekend and we got all day to torture him, said Nanashi. You enjoy my pain too much, you sadist, Naruto grumbled as they headed back. The next day at a random training ground, Nanashi had Naruto started working on his chakra control by doing the leaf concentration exercises. However, due to Naruto's short attention span, it wasn't going well until Nanashi literally beat it into him to the point he does it naturally. Next he began on the tree climbing exercises and after a few minutes where Naruto only got a foot or two off the ground, Nanashi called for his attention. Now that you gotten better on using your chakra, well, somewhat better than before, I can now tell you what I plan for your training, Nanashi said. You mean that causing me unnecessary pain was not a part of your plan, Naruto deadpanned. No, that part of the fun that come with training you. Anyway, from the look of it, it seemed that you will most likely never be able to do a normal Bunshin no Jutsu clone technique, Nanashi said. What? Naruto shouted. I know you need to learn that to pass to be a genin, that why we going to replace it with the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, shadow clone technique, and I chose that technique for a reason. First off, usually Kage Bunshin, shadow clone technique, is dangerous to learn due to how much chakra need to make one, but because of your large chakra reserve you can make a lot with no problem, but we will start off small. Secondly, because you will gain the memory of the clone when it dispels, it will be useful for training. Lastly, it will also help make your reserve grow even more, making you a chakra monster, and on the plus side there will be more of you to torture, Nanashi stated. So I can learn a lot of thing faster, said Naruto, ignoring the promise of torture. Yeah, but you still have to work hard. Now once you are able to make Kage Bunshin, shadow clone technique, I want you to make up to 9 clones to train with me. I shall up the number as time goes on. Once we get up to 9 clone, I want 2 of them to train with me to master the Shinigami no Okurimono, gift of the death god Kekkei Genkai, and the jutsu that are based around it, another 2 to train in basic ninja skill with Crow-san, another 2 to learn some wind jutsu with Cloud-kun, and 2 to learn some earth and water jutsu from Tree-kun, because you can't rely on one element only. As for the last clone, he will continue chakra control exercises while you will train your body to build up your strength and speed. With the Kage Bunshin, shadow clone technique, you can train all day while sending a clone to attend the academy, Nanashi said. Work for me, Naruto stated. Good, let's get this done so we can continue your personal hell, Nanashi said with a smirk. After an hour of trying and Nanashi using the Nis no Genjutsu causing boots, Chibi Penguin and all sort of strange object to strike Naruto for motivation, he was finally able to master the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, shadow clone technique. Omake. Gardening with Tree-kun. In the Forest of Death. Because Naruto had some free time and with nothing to do, we find him, with Crow, Cloud and Tree in the Forest of Death planting some exotic plants. Nanashi was off peeking at the hot spring once again. Thank for doing this task for me, Naruto-sama, Tree said. Yeah, and with you coming with us, it is way safer coming here than before, Naruto said. Well, since my kind are like the guardian of the forest creature tends respect us and leave those with us alone, it was kind of lucky you didn't die before, Tree stated. I know, so what kind of plant are we planting here? Naruto asked. Just one of the many man-eating plants that are found within the forest of death, Tree responded nonchalant. I know you spirits don't have to worry about self-preservation, however I do, and growing something that can end up eating me doesn't seem to agree with my survival instinct, Naruto said. Everything has a purpose in this world, Naruto-sama. It just turned out that this plant purpose is to consume mankind, Tree calmly replied. I'm not questioning its existence, I'm questioning my well-being here, Naruto deadpanned. Suddenly a strange blue teardrop-shaped creature appeared right in front of them. What the hell is that? Naruto exclaimed, pointing at the creature. It is a level 5 slime. Kill it and earn some gold, Tree stated. Slime is from Dragon Quest, so I don't own it. Naruto stared at Tree and then asked, is that thing made out of gold? No, Tree replied. Then how will killing it get me gold? It doesn't make sense, this is not an RPG, Naruto stated. Since when does the ninja world make sense? They give kids as old as 12 the license to kill, Tree stated. And give them nice pointy sharp object to play with, Crow added. Hell, they even let you live by yourself without any kind of adult supervision, Tree said. Okay, I get the point, I will go and kill it, beside I could use the money, Naruto sighed. Go, Naru-kun used infer most on it, Cloud cheered. On the way to the academy, a 10-year-old Naruto, along with Cloud, Tree, Crow and Nanashi were walking to the academy. Nanashi, who still hadn't broken the habit, was only there to chat with them until they reached the academy. Then, he would head out to do something perverted again. Naruto had been trained by his 4 friends, teachers for years, to the point that his skills right now could earn him the rank genin if he wanted. Now that you got the basics down, we will move on to more advanced stuff, although we will still work on the basics from time to time so you won't forget them, Nanashi said. That is a sound plan. I was actually going to teach you some sealing techniques, said Crow. You're a seal master? Naruto asked. Yes. Crow replied. You are required to learn it if you become a Reaper working under Shinigami-sama, and we are considered the best at it. Hopefully you learn enough that you can create a medium through which Cloud and Tree can interact in the physical world. Yahoo! More wind attacks for Naru-kun and flying, Cloud cheers. Flying? Naruto asked. Magic and pixie dust. Believe in them and you can soar toward the sky, Naru-kun, Cloud sings. Note to self. Never give Cloud-kun sugar if he ever gains the ability to eat food, Naruto said with a sweat drop. From me, you will learn more earth and water techniques. Also, I will teach you some exercises to draw water from the environment and atmosphere, plus how to shape the ground around to gain some field advantage, Naruto-sama, Tree added. We started on shape transformation starting from 1 dimension up to 3 dimensions shape to get you to make those chakra knives and will come in handy to shape the blade on the Mugen no Sora so that you not only limited to scythe and staff mode. Nanashi said. Also, speaking of Mugen no Sora, I was planning to teach you 2 different taijutsu styles, one best for close combat and the other for utilizing the Mugen no Sora, which I will teach you first so you can get you some practice with it and to get you used to using that weapon. Yeah, we need to hang out more, Naruto-kun, said Mugen in Naruto's head. All these extra skills will be good for you if your enemies ever discover your Kekkei Genkei's weakness. Always have a backup plan, Nanashi told him. Huh, the Shinigami no Okurimono have weaknesses? Naruto asked. Yes, everything has its own limitation and nothing is absolute, though I thought by now you had figured one of them out from all the time you saw me use the Shinigami no Okurimono. The first weakness is due to the chakra knife, or whatever you use as a receiver is limited by how long they can stay on the target, so you can only affect the target until you cancel the receiver or until the essence that your chakra speared inside your opponent is filtered out. The other weakness is the strength of your opponent's will compared to yours. If your opponent's will is stronger, they can break the effect of the Shinigami no Okurimono. However, you are really stubborn. I doubt that you will have to worry about it much, Nanashi explained. So as long as I never give up and never let my opponent break my will, they can't overcome the Shinigami no Okurimono. Naruto asked. Yes, now about your graduation plan. Not only do I want you to graduate around the same time as everyone in your age group, but to also be the dead last or at least pass with an average grade instead of Rookie of the Year or anywhere near the top of the class. You should have Iruka as your teacher, who is the first teacher to treat you fair and equal, said Nanashi. You want me to do this for a reason, right? Naruto inquired. Yes. Being the dead last when are you truly the Rookie of the Year is more advantageous because it will cause others to underestimate you, and when you reveal your true skills it will be too late for them and cost them their victory, Nanashi explained. So the title of Rookie of the Year is stupid because it shows your true strength to everyone and goes against what being a ninja is all about, which is deception, Naruto said. Yep. You really are learning. Anyway, I got ladies to look at, so off to school with you guys, or else I send the flying monkey after you like I did for the teacher that came before Iruka, Nanashi threatened. Huh, I thought that we drugged him, dressed him in drag and sent him to one of those special bars where he got traumatized enough that he ended up in a long-term therapy program forcing him to quit his job just because he trying to kill me, Naruto mused. Haha, his girly scream and face of terror and humiliation will be forever carved in my memory, said Kurama in Naruto mind. Seriously Kurama, you have problems, but as long as those 101 flavored bunnies and pranks keep the village from being destroyed, I really don't care, Naruto sighed. Ninja have therapists? Cloud asked. I think they have psych evaluators to make sure most ninja don't go kamikaze on missions, Tree responded. You know, we kind of got that drug a bit too easily, though it was supposed to be for poison techniques, which is important for ninja, but still drug control is a bit bad around here, Crow added. If we did that to him, then who did I send that flying monkey to? Nanshi pondered. With the identity of the flying monkey victim on his mind, Nanashi went to seek women while the rest headed toward class. In the classroom, when Naruto entered the classroom, he saw the daily occurrence of fangirls drooling over the emo king known as Uchiha Sasuke. Sasuke-kun, please go out with me, screamed all his fangirls at once. No, said Sasuke as he turned away and began to brood. All his fangirls looked downcast while thinking, Sasuke-kun is so cool. One of these downcast fangirls was Naruto's crush Sakura Haruno, and in an attempt to gain her friendship he tried to cheer her up. Hey Sakura-chan, don't look so down. Sasuke-tem is an idiot for not seeing what a great girl you are and taking you out on a date, Naruto said. In an alternative universe where Sakura Haruno was not a blind obsessed fangirl, she saw the kindness in Naruto's word and befriended him. However, in this universe that was not the case, as she felt that Naruto had insulted her precious Sasuke-kun and she turned her frustration of being rejected on him. Shut up Naruto baka. You are so annoying. And don't you dare insult Sasuke-kun. He is handsome, cool, talented, and Uchiha the greatest clan in Konoha, while you are a dead last useless loser orphan nobody and should do what all the villagers said you should do. Be useful and go lay down in a hole somewhere and just die. Do me one favor and don't ever bug me again, she growled. While some of his classmates thought that was cruel and others were indifferent, most of Sasuke's fangirls showed their support in hope of getting Sasuke's attention, which he ignored again. However, for Naruto, the thought of starting a friendship with Sakura, who he believed to understand his loneliness because he thought she felt same loneliness by being bullied by the other student, ended there, as his heart began to break. Okay Haruno-san. I will leave you alone and shall never bug you again, Naruto said, looking at her with fake smile but eyes devoid of all emotion, not that she never notices, and went to sat down somewhere away from her. For the rest of the class Naruto was quiet and never spoke a word. That went on for days, causing Iruka and his friends to worry, but when they asked if he was okay, he always responded that he was in an emotionless tone and went back to being silent. During his training session with Nanashi, Crow, Cloud, and Tree he would work quietly and endless on the task. Nanashi finally had enough and decided to do something. Okay. What's wrong with you, kid? Nanashi asked. Nothing. So, what am I going to do for my training? Naruto responded. For 2 weeks you will do no training but try to find a hobby to occupy your time, Nanashi sighed. I don't need a hobby. What I need is to train and learn jutsu to become a ninja, Naruto responded emotionlessly. I'm your teacher and you will do as I say, Nanashi told him. Naruto glared at him and walked away. When he was gone, Nanashi asked the others about Naruto's behavior. Well, he's been like that since that Sakura girl dumped him, Crow said. We tried to cheer him up and told him there are other fish in the sea, but it didn't work, said Tree. Yeah, sharks and whales too, said Cloud trying to be helpful, but failing. So, do you think he is going emo again? Crow asked. No, this is something different. He's becoming an emotionless machine, a robot Naruto. There is something more going on here. I will go talk to him and downgrade him into a human again, said Nanashi as he got up to look for Naruto. Hokage Monument. After meeting with everyone, Naruto walked to the top of the Hokage Monument to clear his head. There he sat and entered his mindscape and stared at the sky in his mind. Hey kid, so you got dumped. Get over it, said Kurama. I didn't get dumped, because we weren't dating. Are you trying cheer me up? Naruto asked. Well, your depressed self is more annoying than your normal self, Kurama stated. Kurama is right, you really need to get over whatever is bugging you and talking about it will help, so tell Kurama ni-san, big brother, and Mugen no Sora ne-san, big sister, all about it, said Mugen no Sora, who appeared to be a blue-haired, blue-eyed teenage girl in a black kimono with white flower decorations. Ni-san? Kurama asked, staring at Mugen no Sora. Would you prefer Okazen, mother? Mugen responded. Ni-san it is, Kurama quickly said. You really should talk about what's upsetting you, said Nanashi, appearing in his mind. How did you enter my mind? Naruto asked. A trick I learned while experimenting with the Nis no Genjutsu style or magic, whichever one you prefer. Anyway, are you that upset that you got dumped, or is there more to it than that? Asked Nanashi. I'm not upset about the fact that she dumped me, because we weren't dating, so therefore she didn't dump me. It's what she said to me that is upsetting me. She practically told me to do everyone a favor and die, telling me to die or go away like the villagers do when they call me monster or demon and stare at me eyes full of hate or fear like they have all my life because they think I'm the fox. I hate it and grow tired of it. I'm tired of being angry, tired of being alone, and mostly tired of not having any friends, family or anyone that cares about me. Sure, I have you, Crow, Cloud and Tree, but none of you are alive or human, no offense, and Gigi never has time for me. It hurts so much that I just don't want to feel anything, Naruto said with tears falling down his face. Those idiot villagers. If I could, I would grind their bones for thinking I'm a weak and pathetic human, Kurama growled. This is not about you, you arrogant idiot, Mugen sighed. Naruto, do you know why I act as crazy as I do? Nanashi asked him. Because you find it entertaining to mess with my mind, Naruto deadpanned. Yes, but also because I couldn't do it all the time when I was alive. When I was alive, I always acted the way I thought my family wanted me to, how I thought my friends want me to. However, when I was with my Haim princess, I never acted as anything I was not. I always was my true crazy flawed pervert self around her, and she never truly hated me for it, though from time to time I tended to piss her off enough to beat me to bloody pulp, which I don't regret, but I do believe she enjoyed it a little too much, that crazy sadist, Nanashi said, shivering at the memory of such beating. Naruto's sweat dropped at him talking about his past. Where was I going with this? Oh yeah, right. The thing is that after 100 plus some years of being dead, I found out that I was the most happy when I was with her, and I realized how stupid I was wasting my life pretending to be someone I was not and worrying about what others thought of me when there's someone who was happy with me the way I am, and I was felt the same way too. What I'm trying to tell you is life is way too short to waste dwelling on bad things in your life. Sure, there will be times when you are sad or angry. When that happens, you can cry or go trash a training ground, then do something incredibly stupid or fun like I always do, so those negative emotions don't consume you and make you emotionally damaged, or kami forbid, emo. Really? Emos don't amount to anything, Naruto-kun, Nanashi said, waving his index finger. Okay, I get it that you are prejudiced against emos. I promise that I won't dress up in black with black eyeliner and lipstick, sheesh, Naruto said. Good, that is the most important thing I can ever teach you. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. The thing is that pain is a part of life, especially the life of a ninja. However, you shouldn't ignore or forget about it, but learn to live with it because it is a part of who you are and how you handle it makes you who you are. Whatever you do, don't keep your heart closed, because then you might miss that someone who can drown all your sorrows with an endless amount of happiness, Nanashi said, ruffling Naruto's hair. So the reason you told me to find a hobby was to give me time to deal with what I'm going through? Naruto asked while fixing his hair. Yes, part of it is so you have time to heal, but I also want you to find things you might like to do. You may choose to be a ninja, but you can't always be a ninja 24/7. You need time to relax and be a normal person. So, you're allowed to be all sad and depressed for a few days, but by the end of the 2 weeks when we go back to training, I want you to have a fun hobby you like to do and be back to your crazy old self, okay? Nanashi asked. Nope, I won't go back to my old crazy self. Oh no, I will be crazier than before. Like you said, life is too short to worry about what others think, and besides, after the way the villagers treated me, it might be fun to get back at them by messing with their heads, Naruto said with a grin. Ah, there's my student that I love and know, said Nanshi with a smirk. Well, it seems he will be okay, said Mugen. The next day on the way to the academy. Hey Arosation, I've been think of what you said about finding a hobby and I came up with two but could decide between them, so I'm going to do them both, cooking and sewing. I chose cooking because as much as I like ramen, I guess I'm going to have to eat more than that, and as for sewing, I kind of don't like to walk around with so many holes on my clothes. I've also been thinking of what Crow said about having mediums for Cloud and Tree, so I was thinking of making dolls, or I mean action figures for them to possess, so let's some cooking and sewing books before we head to school, Naruto said. Naruto wants to study with books, it the apocalypse, ah. Nanashi screamed. Shut up. Naruto stared at him. Sorry. Anyway, that's okay. You don't have to have only one hobby. You can have as many as you want. If you like, I can teach you some break dancing moves that you can integrate into your taijutsu, Nanashi said. Huh, I thought you said we're not doing any training for 2 weeks. Naruto asked. We're not, but that does not mean that the things we learn outside of ninja training can't be used when we are being ninja, and the same can be said about the thing we learn inside of ninja training. Those skills are not limited to ninja tasks only. The first taijutsu style follows the same principle, which is what skills you learn in life can be used in your fighting style, but we'll go more in depth when we come to it, Nanashi said. Okay, I could try it to see if it's fun or not. Hey, can you guys also teach me something new? Naruto asked. I'm good at music, Cloud said. And I can make some music instruments when you need some and give you gardening tips since you are helping me fill the world with plants, Tree added. I was a prankster when I was alive, so I can teach you my prankster art, like different ways to make stink bombs, Crow said. Yeah, those sound fun, especially Crow's idea. I'm going to try them all. Naruto said. Alright, see you guys after school while I go do my hobby of studying the female body, Nanashi said as he separated from them. That's not a hobby, it's as a crime, muttered Naruto. At the academy, Naruto was sitting down in his seat reading a cookbook he purchased and looking through it to see what food looked good to make when he saw other people in the classroom staring at him. What? Naruto asked everyone. Naruto, is that you? Iruka asked. Yes, answered a confused Naruto. And you are reading a book of your own free will? Iruka asked again. Yes, answered a still confused Naruto. Oh my Kami. It is the apocalypse, screamed Iruka. Naruto's sweat dropped as everyone began to whisper. I think you broke him with what you said to him last time, Sakura, Ino said as Sakura nodded in agreement. Oh come on. It's not that big of a deal, Naruto groaned. Don't worry Naruto, everything will be alright, Anbu, Iruka said. What wrong? The two masked Anbu replied as they showed up. It's Naruto, he reading a book, said Iruka. It's the apocalypse, both Anbu said. Seriously? Naruto groaned. Don't worry Uzumaki-san. We will take you to the Hokage and he will figure out what's wrong, said one of the Anbu. Fine, but you gotta carry me, I don't feel like running all the way there. I just got to class, said Naruto. You want us to carry you like a little child? The Anbu asked with a sweat drop. Yes please, Naruto replied. The Anbu picked up Naruto and headed toward the Hokage tower. What seems to be the problem here? The third asked. Uzumaki-san was reading a book in class, one of Anbu replied. It is the apocalypse, said a paled Hokage. You too, Ojiazan, Naruto sighed. Naruto, are you okay? Asked a concerned Hokage. Yes. I was reading this book because I wanted to learn how to cook. Now since I was taken out of class to meet you and if you don't have anything else to talk to me about, I think I'll skip class for the rest of the day, Naruto said. Okay. It seemed like you are well enough and Iruka won't expect you back in class today anyway, said the Hokage. Great. Now, Anbu carry me outside, Naruto asked with puppy dog eyes. He just couldn't help it. Piggyback riding Anbu was just so fun. Everyone's sweat dropped at that. Then one of the Anbu carried him out and so began Naruto's day of hobby exploring. In the forest of death. You know, coming here for so long and making friends with the forest creature made this place a nice place to be. Anyway, since class got cut short for me, let's start with my music lesson. Cloud, Naruto said. Hee, it was funny how you freaked everyone by pretending to read a book, said Kurama in his mind. I wasn't pretending, Naruto replied. It is the apocalypse, Kurama said in fright. Oh, don't you start too, said Naruto. So what instrument do you want to learn to play? Flute, violin, guitar, drum, or I can help you with your vocals if you want to learn how to sing, said Cloud excitedly. You know what? I will just use Kage Bunshin no Jutsu to learn it all and start a one-man band if this ninja thing doesn't work out, and I can also start on my other hobbies too, said Naruto as he make clones and tree made his instrument. Here are the first instruments. I used some plant substance to substitute for the string because we don't have the real thing, and I used some earth jutsu to shape the ore for some of the drum part, said Tree. Okay. Me and some of my clones will stay at practice while one will follow you to look for place to start a garden and another will have Crow teach him some pranks, said Naruto. A few hours later. So how was my first try? Naruto asked. Okay. But you still need a lot more practice to be able to perform for others, said Cloud. You friend is right, though you're not bad for a beginner, said a female voice. Naruto turned around and saw a little girl with brown hair and amber eyes. Hi, you're dead right. Naruto asked. Naru-kun has no tact, he is a tactless master, Cloud said happily. That he is, and you right, I am a ghost. My name is Yuta and I heard from others that you can help me move on to the afterlife, said Yuta. So what is it that is keeping you bound here? Naruto asked. Well, when I was alive I always had to stay inside and never got out of my bed because of my illness, and it was that illness that took my life, but I always liked to sing and everyone told me how beautiful my voice was. However, due to my illness I never fulfilled my dream of being a performer, Yuta said. So if you perform for a concert of some sort you can more on, said Naruto. Yes, she replied. Okay. Once I get better at playing these instruments, then I will set up a concert for you, said Naruto with a smile. Thank you. I will practice too until then, she said as she left. Elsewhere in the forest of death, Naruto's clone and Tree were in a large meadow surrounded by a wall of trees except one spot where the trees bend to make a small opening for them to go through. This place is amazing. Not only can we have garden here, but it can be a secret base to hang out in, Naruto's clone said. Yes, this place is ideal for that. This will be where one of our gardens will be at. Anyway, have you decided what to plant yet, Naruto-sama? Asked Tree. Well, a lot of different fruits and vegetables to eat would be good, the clone said to him. That's good, and we might add some more fruits tree around here. Also, you should plant some herbs which help to make medicines or poisons, Tree added. That's a good idea. You should head back now and I will show the original this place, said the clone as he is dispelled himself. With another clone and Crow. I will give the original some books on sealing and tips that will be useful for pranks, but until then let me tell you about stink bombs, said Crow. What is there to tell? It explodes and makes everything smelly, said Naruto's clone. Ah, that where you wrong. There is more to it than that. You have to consider many factors, like the size of the explosion, stink duration, and level of stink, also how adding certain substances will affect it, said Crow. Wow, teach me, said the clone. Okay, said Crow as he began the lecture. With Nanashi. So the kid freaked out his classmates and teacher by reading a book and got a half-day huh. I'm so proud, said Nanashi, smiling with anime tears. Suddenly he felt a familiar malevolent force emitting from the forest of death. So he is here now and is near the kid. I have to get there fast, he said as he raced to the forest. Back in the forest of death with Naruto. Crow and Tree were coming back to meet up with Naruto and Cloud as they were still practicing. Hey guys, let's take a break and go find Arrow Station so I can get something to eat, said Naruto. As they were walking away, a malevolent force appeared next to them. My, what lovely souls we have here, said an ogre-like being with horns and sharp teeth. Behind him were a bunch of people chained up with empty eyes. Who or what the hell are you, creep? Naruto asked. He's UGLY and he's got no alibi, Cloud said. A lost sideshow attraction, Crow pondered. A plastic surgery that went bad, Tree added. Do you dare insult me? Growled the ogre-like being. Yes, they all answered. I was going to enslave all of you, but now I am going to eat you all. He said as he launched at them only to be stopped by Nanashi's katana. Hey guys, looks like I made it in time. Anyway, stay back and let me handle this, Nanashi said. You know this guy? Naruto asked. Yes, he is Lord Oni, the jerk that killed me and kidnapped my princess, Hikari Haim, the guy I've been searching for 100 years to defeat in order to get her back, Nanashi said. Lord Oni, what a lame name, Naruto said. I know, right? Anyway, this is my fight, so let me handle this, Nanashi said. You insolent fool. I will kill you, said Lord Oni. I don't think so. Seishin o Kawasu Mano Kawareta Chen, Spirit Breaker Broken Chain, Nanashi said as the chain that bound the people behind him broke. Afterward, Lord Oni began to weaken and turn human-like. No. What have you done? My souls, Lord Oni cry. Now to end this. Shinigami no Jotejo, invitation of the Grim Reaper, Nanashi said as gate formed and a Grim Reaper appeared. Hey, Crow, how are you? Your girl misses you, said the Reaper. I'm fine, Bob, been looking after this kid. Anyway, tell her I miss her and said hi for me, said Crow. Okay. Well, I got to go back to dragging souls to the afterlife, Bob said as he dragged Lord Ona's soul to hell. That was anticlimactic. Why couldn't you take him down the first time? Naruto asked. Well, he kind of killed us by accidentally by setting off the bombs he tried to threaten us with, and once we were dead he enslaved Hikari Haim and gained power from her, which is the only thing he's good at. Then after that, we only met 3 times. The first he ranted on and on about his evil plan until my brain shut down, and once I got it to start again he ran away. The second time he just ran away when I pulled out my kick-ass katana, and lastly now when I finally defeated him, said Nanashi. That sucks, was Naruto's response. I know. Hikari Haim, I finally free you and we can be together forever, said Nanashi as he ran toward a beautiful woman with white hair and sliver-eyed in a blue dress. Nanashi, I miss you so much, said Hikari as she hugged him then began to beat the afterlife out of him. What took you so long? It's been over 100 years, you idiot. Hikari said with fury as she continued to beat him. Sorry, there were quest items to collect and mini-bosses to defeat, Nanashi pleaded. Don't you lie to me, she said as he got bloodied even though he was a ghost. Okay, I am Nanashi and I am, Nanashi began but got cut off with a punch to the face. Don't start the pervert anonymous thing again. Go find help somewhere else, but I am glad to see you again, she sighed as she stopped beating him to a bloody mess. Wow, this has more action than the fight with Lord Oni, Naruto said. Hi, who are you? She asked. I am Naruto Uzumaki, that perverted idiot's apprentice, and these are my friends Crow, Cloud and Tree. Nice to meet you, Naruto replied. Hi, my name is Hikari. Did the pervert corrupt you yet? She asked. No, Naruto replied. Good. I will keep it that way, Hikari said. What? But he's my student and I have to teach him my ways, Nanashi replied weakly, from the ground. No you won't, if you don't want the pain, that is, Hikira said back to him. I'll be good, Nanashi said. After 2 weeks of training-free days, it was back to training as we see the gang hanging around a row of fences with a paintbrush and paint can. So, we're finally back to training, Naruto-kun. Now, I will teach you the fighting style of the Shaolin monks, I will teach you Shaolin Kung Fu, said Nanashi. I doubt you know anything about monkhood considering how perverted you are, Naruto deadpanned. Yes, I didn't know much about Shaolin Kung Fu when I was alive, until I was trained by a friend who was a monk. I was also trained by a dead Shaolin monk and from what I learned they fight with staffs really well, so this will help you wield the Mugen no Sora. Anyway, let's start your training by painting all of these fences, said Nanashi. How will painting fences help me learn Shaolin Kung Fu? Naruto asked. Remember when I told you that the things you learn in ninja training can be used to do things outside of your ninja life and vice versa? Nanashi asked and Naruto nodded yes. Well, Kung Fu applies to it too. I want you to not just paint the fence, but do it a certain way. When you are painting the fence, I want you stand a certain way, hold the paint can a certain way and move the paintbrush a certain way. The way you stand and hold the can will help with your form and paint movement will help with the way you strike your opponent. I want you to do it until you get in that stance and do your movement by instinct. Using what you do in your everyday life then using it in your fighting style will make that form come easily to you, Nanashi said. Okay, like this? Naruto asked as he got into the stance Nanashi showed him and began to paint the way he showed him too. Yes, Daniel-san listens to Mr. Miyagi and you will go far. Now Mr. Miyagi will have some fun while you paint as many fences you can for today, said Nanashi. Oh no you don't. You stay here or take me to places that I want to see and not go off peeking, Hikari said. Fine, sheesh. Anyway Naruto, fence painting is not the only way we train. I will find other methods and once you get them down you can spar to see how well you've learned them, Nanashi said. Unknown to them an Anbu was watching him who was worried that his was a prank and reported it to the Hokage. Hokage-sama, Naruto is painting some fences, the Anbu told the Hokage. What? Naruto is it graffiti? The Hokage asked. Well actually no, he's just painting them for reason we don't know, we think it is some sort of prank Hokage-sama, said the Anbu. The Hokage pulled out his handy-dandy crystal ball to see what Naruto was doing and saw, just as the Anbu said, Naruto coating an old flaking fence with a new coat of paint. This is troublesome indeed, said the Hokage. Just then Mighty Guy burst in the room. Yosh, I completed the mission you assigned me, Guy said then he saw what the Anbu and Hokage were looking at and saw Naruto paint the fence. What's a youthful kid doing using one of stances of the ancient Shaolin warrior monks, Guy said. Stance? The Hokage asked. Yosh, the way he is standing and moving his arm can only be that of the Shaolin Kung Fu style, though not many know it, so whoever teaching him knows it well, Guy said. Thank you guy for giving us insight on this, the Hokage said. This strange behavior of Naruto was not the only Naruto-related incident that was brought to the Hokage that day, however. The next incident. Hokage-sama, Naruto is dancing out in the street, said the Anbu. And the problem is? The Hokage asked. Well, I thought I should report it. Also, if I might say, he is quite good, said the Anbu. Thank for your report, but I don't think it is anything to worry about, the Hokage said. Then there was Hokage-sama, Naruto is staging a performance in the city center, said the Anbu. I don't see the problem here, the Hokage said. No problem here, it just I thought you might want to see it. His singing is very good, the Anbu said. After that, Hokage-sama, Naruto, the Anbu started to say. What did Naruto do this time? Asked the Hokage as he cut him off. Well, he made some fudge and told me to bring some for you, the Anbu told him. They both took a bite out of the fudge and then start crying anime tears. This is a piece of heaven, said the Anbu in total bliss. This is better than Ika Ika book series, said the Hokage as he began to fall into a food coma. Then there was. The Hokage stared at the Anbu. The Anbu looked back. They stare at each other for a few minutes. So, have you anything to report involving Naruto doing something strange, said the Hokage. Nope. Well, he was seen carrying 2 buckets of water attached to a pole on his back and climbing up the Hokage monument where he seemed to start a secret garden there that only he can enter, but compared to what he's done lately, it doesn't seem so important, said the Anbu. Okay well, I'll just go back to my paperwork then, the Hokage said, glaring at his most hated enemy paperwork. Back to Naruto and the others. Wow, this month has been eventful, said Naruto. Yeah, and your skills are coming along quite nicely, Nanashi said. Really? I've been training really hard to be a great ninja, Naruto said. Huh, ninja. Oh right, your ninja training. Your skills in that are decent. They could be better, but they're decent, Nanashi said. Couldn't give the kid a break could you idiot, Hikari said. Arrow Sation is being a meanie calling my ninja skills decent. I mean come on, I learned that I can gain my allies' special ability by soul linking with them, Naruto said in his corner of woe. Yeah it was cool and stuff when we found out that you have the Mokuton wood style, so long as you were soul linked with tree but it's not awesome enough to surpass me, Nanashi said. Jerk. Naruto muttered. It's time like this that I'm glad you are not a father, Hikari said. Oh come on, you know you want to have a mini-me running around calling you mama, said Nanashi. Shut up, Hikari said while blushing. So kid, what are you doing today since you don't have class? Nanashi asked. Well, I was going to send some clones to do some pranks while establishing my alibi by working on making the medium for Cloud and Tree at the Hokage's office, since my sealing and sewing skills are good enough to make them. Then, tonight is the night of the concert in the forest that I set up for Yuta-chan, Naruto replied. At the Hokage's office. Yo, Ojiazan, I've come to hang out with you since I haven't seen you in a while, so I'm going to stay here and be working on some stuff, Naruto said. Okay Naruto, I could use the company, the Hokage said. Hours later an Anbu burst into the office. Hokage-sama, there are reports of pranks all across the village, it must be Naruto. We have to find him, said the Anbu. Okay. Found him, said the Hokage as he pointed toward Naruto. Yo, Anbu-san, Naruto said rising his right hand to greet him. How long have you been here? The Anbu asked. Since 10 a.m. this morning, Naruto replied. Then suddenly a bunch of the villagers and ninjas burst in. Stink bomb, water balloon, clothes disappearing, rabbit doing the moonwalk, demon brat, were some of the words coming out of their mouths. Look at what happened. This is the demon brat's doing, said one of the villagers. Hey Anbu-san, can I borrow your kunai for a second? Naruto asked while deciding if the dancing rabbit might have been a little overkill. They all turned to look at Naruto wondering how long he had been there as the Anbu give him his kunai. Then Naruto made a small cut on his figure and bled some into the container, mixing it with the ink inside, which shocked most of the people there. Naruto, what are you doing? The Hokage asked. Mixing my blood with some ink here, Naruto said as he finished mixing it and started drawing symbols on the inside of the dolls he made. I can see that, but why? The Hokage replied. Blood is an important ingredient used for sealing, Naruto responded while finishing the last symbol, and he began sewing the dolls and stuffing them with cotton and small stones. Sealing. I didn't know you know how to do that. Naruto, that is amazing. So, what does the seal that you're making right now do? The Hokage asked. It will either give me a friend that I can play with because no one wants to be friends with me, or summon some powerful dragon that I have to aid in its quest to save the world. Considering how cool dragons are, I'm shooting for that, Naruto said as he continued his work. Everyone's sweat dropped at that, thinking that it was something he was willing to do. Just then another Anbu burst inside. Someone just now unleashed a stink bomb and it burns, the Anbu said, running around in pain. I didn't do it because I've been here the whole time, all of you've seen me too, said Naruto, finishing his work while thinking that Stink Bomb 32 was a success. Then, Naruto channeled chakra into the dolls, and when Tree and Cloud touched the doll that looked exactly like them, they began to possess them as the doll's eye went from dull to full of life and began to move. Yeah, I'm alive now. We can play hide and seek with Naru-kun, Cloud said, shocking everyone. We did that before, said Tree. Tag, said Cloud. Done it, replied Tree. Play ping pong, asked Cloud. We can do that, but we have to find a table, net and paddles, said Tree. If you have nothing more to say, you can leave now, said the Hokage, addressing the crowd of ninja and villagers. So what does the seal truly do, Naruto? The Hokage asked as everyone was gone now. It gives my familiars a physical body to possess, Naruto replied. That's truly amazing, Naruto. Now if only you knew a seal to deal with paperwork, the Hokage sighed. Well, I don't know about a seal, but there is the Kage Bunshin no Jutsu that I just used it to pull off those pranks, said Naruto. The Hokage stared at Naruto for a few minutes, then face-palmed. After a thank yous and not a few grateful anime tears, he said, Thank you, Naruto, with your help with the dread paperwork. If there is anything I can help you with, let me know. Well, you can forget that I mentioned that I did those pranks and also help with my staff technique, since I heard you are skilled at that, was Naruto's reply. Done, the Hokage said, and made some Kage Bunshin to do paperwork while he went off to train Naruto. On the way to the Forest of Death. Naruto was walking to the Forest of Death when he felt someone was following him with the Shinigami no Okurimono. Okay, I know you there. Why are you following me? Naruto shouted to the mystery person. A girl with dark blue hair, fair skin, and white eyes with a tint of lavender stepped out. Naruto recognized her as Hinata Hyuga from his class. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun, Hinata stuttered. So why are you following me, Hinata-chan? Naruto asked as Hinata blushed at him adding chan to her name. I was worried about why you be because why you have been acting strange lately, Hinata said. So you've been stalking me? Naruto asked. No, I have been observing you from afar, she said. What's the difference? Naruto asked. Stalkers take your things for their collection, but someone observing from afar doesn't, Naruto-sama, Tree said. Have you taken and stuff from me like Tree said? Naruto asked. No, Hinata replied. Okay, you're not a stalker. Wait, did you say you worried about me? Naruto asked. Yes, Hinata replied, blushing. Does that mean you care about me? Naruto asked. Why yes, Hinata replied, blushing harder. Yes. Thank you, Kami. I finally have a friend who's human and alive. Naruto cried anime tears as he hugged Hinata, who fainted on contact. Oh no, she fainted. Is she sick or something? I have to do something. I don't want to lose a friend that I just made, Naruto said, panicking. Wow, I think Naru-kun is really dense, Cloud said as Hinata regained consciousness. I'm okay and Naruto-kun, Hinata said as she began to wake up. Okay. Hey, I'm doing a concert in the forest. Want to come? Naruto asked. Yes. She replied excitedly. Okay. But you have to keep it a secret on what you will see. I will explain about that later, but if you want to come you have promised to keep it a secret, Naruto said. Okay and Naruto-kun, said Hinata. In the forest of death. They came to the meadow that Naruto and Tree found that became their secret base. The field was full of animals of the forest, ghosts, and spirits of all kind. Welcome to my secret base. Okay, the thing is I can see and communicate with spirits and ghosts and this concert I set up is to help a ghost cross over. I am about to activate a seal so you can see and hear the spirit within this meadow, but don't worry because they can't harm you, okay? Naruto said. Oh okay and by the way this place is beautiful, Hinata replied while blushing from being with Naruto. Thanks, Naruto said as he activated the seals and Hinata saw all the ghosts and spirits appear. And this, Hinata-chan, is Yuta-chan. She's the ghost I am helping today and performing with. Yuta-chan, this is my new friend Hinata-chan, said Naruto. Hello. They greeted each other. Hey Naruto, how have you been? The Shinigami greeted him. Shinigami-sama, what are you doing here? Naruto asked. SS Shinigami. Hinata cried. Yeah, the Shinigami. He's the reason I can see ghosts and spirits. I also work part-time for him, but don't worry. I don't think he's here for your soul, Naruto said. No, I'm not here for her soul. I'm here because of you, Naruto, the Shinigami said. What? I thought that it was not my time until a long time from now. Naruto said. Calm down, I'm not here for that yet. Besides, you're not even dying. I am allowing 2 souls to visit their home village, Konoha, in exchange for training you from time to time when they are not busy looking around. Since you want to be Hokage and what Crow told me about what you can do when you soul link with Tree, who better to train you than the first Hokage Hashirama Senju and the second Hokage Tobirama Senju, said the Shinigami. Hello Uzumaki-san and friends. We have heard great things about you, said the first. Yes, we hope we can help you in any way we can, said the second. It nice to meet you're both, Hinata said with a bow. Yeah, it is nice to meet you old guys again, Crow said. Wood guy and water guy, it's nice to meet you, Cloud replied cheerfully. You may have created the forest around here but we forest sprites own the whole forest, Tree said with pride. You guys are older than Ojiazanum but you don't have any winkles, Naruto said. Hinata was shocked at the way they talked to the former Hokages. Ha ha, I guess Sarutobi's age is catching up to him, the Frist said. Anyway Naruto, keep up the good work. Our little project is coming along but there's still some fine-tuning to do. Now, go start your show because I haven't seen one in a while. Afterward, I will take Yuta's soul to heaven myself since I'm already here, the Shinigami said. Yeah, we should get started Naruto-kun, said Yuta. Okay. Hinata-chan, can you hold on to Crow for me and sit next to Hikari-chan? Hikari-chan and Crow-kun, make sure Arosation doesn't do anything to mess up the show, Naruto said. Why would you think that I would do anything? Nanashi asked innocently. Because you are a perverted idiot, Naruto, Hikari, Crow, Cloud, and Tree said together. You guys are all meanies, Nanashi said in his corner of woe, crying anime tears. Naruto, Cloud, Tree, and Yuta got on stage and began their performance as Hinata and the other looked in awe at the beauty of their voices and song. Their performance lasted into the night and the song was heard throughout the forest. Those villagers and ninja alike near the forest heard the alluring music and for those brave enough venture into the forest for the source of the sound only turned back when they got near enough to see spirits of all kinds surrounding the area that the music attract them to. They ran off never see who the performers were. Thus, this event started the rumors of a haunted forest and the legend of the spirits of the forest playing music. Omake. The true incident of the flying monkey. Marketplace. Naruto and the gang were walking around the market vendors when they all stopped by a stand to look at some bananas. Bananas? Huh, I think I can make some smoothie or milkshake with them, Naruto stated. They are good quality, Naruto-sama, said Tree. Hey, you're not welcome here, demon brat, said the fruit vendor. But I just want to buy some bananas, Naruto said. No bananas for you, said the banana Nazi. But, Naruto started. I said no bananas for you, he said as he began to pelt Naruto with rocks. Naruto ran away from the crazy fruit vendor and his stand. We have to get him back for what he did to me. Any ideas? Naruto asked. Flying monkey, Nanashi said. Flying monkey? Naruto asked. Flying monkey, Cloud cheers loudly. Flying monkey, Tree agreed. Definitely flying monkey, Crow confirm. Where will we get flying monkeys? Naruto asked. Forest of Death. They have all kinds of creature, said Nanashi. Yeah, there are even colonies of kung fu squirrels, Tree said. At the den of the flying monkey, Naruto and friend stood in front of the council of flying monkeys. What do you want, human? One of the flying monkeys said in its language. Well, I wanted some bananas but some jerk vendor wouldn't sell me any and threw rocks at me, Naruto said. All of the flying monkeys gasped. Denying anyone of the goodness of a banana is the highest crime for us. Not only will we give you the justice you deserve but also the bananas that you should have gotten, said the flying monkey. Great. Can you also get me some other fruit? I want to make some smoothies and milkshakes, Naruto said. Only if you give us some too, the flying monkey said. Deal, Naruto replied. The next day the banana Nazi vendor was horribly maimed by flying monkeys and his fruit was stolen from him while Naruto and friends were having a smoothie and milkshake party with a bunch of flying monkeys.